How monks does a monk not practice the way proper to the recluse? For so long as a monk who is covetous has not abandoned covetousness, who has a mind of ill will and has not abandoned ill will, who is angry has not abandoned anger, who is revengeful has not abandoned revenge, who is contemptuous has not abandoned contempt, who is domineering has not abandoned his domineering attitude, who is envious has not abandoned envy, who is avaricious has not abandoned avarice, who is fraudulent has not abandoned fraud, who is deceitful has not abandoned deceit, who has evil wishes has not abandoned evil wishes, who has wrong view has not abandoned wrong view. For so long he does not practice the way proper to the recluse, I say, because of his failure to abandon these stains of the recluse, these faults of the recluse, these drags for the recluse, which are grounds for rebirth in a state of deprivation, and whose results are to be experienced in an unhappy destination. Suppose the weapon called a mataja, well whetted on both edges, were enclosed and encased in a patchwork sheath. I say that such a monk's going forth is comparable to that. How, monks, does a monk practice the way proper to the recluse? When any monk who was covetous has abandoned covetousness, who had a mind of ill will had abandoned ill will, who was angry had abandoned anger, who was revengeful had abandoned revenge, who was contemptuous had abandoned contempt, who was domineering had abandoned his domineering attitude, who was envious had abandoned envy, who was avaricious had abandoned avarice, who was fraudulent has abandoned fraud, who was deceitful has abandoned deceit, who has evil wishes had abandoned evil wishes, who had wrong view had abandoned wrong view. Then he practices the way proper to the recluse, I say, because of his abandoning these stains for the recluse, these faults for the recluse, these drags for the recluse, which are grounds for rebirth in a state of deprivation, and whose results are to be experienced in an unhappy destination. He sees himself purified of all these evil unwholesome states. He sees himself liberated from them. When he sees this, gladness is born in him. When he is glad, delight is born in him. In one who is delighted, the body becomes tranquil. One whose body is tranquil feels pleasure. In one who feels pleasure, the mind becomes concentrated. He abides pervading one quarter with the mind imbued with loving kindness. Likewise the second, likewise the third, likewise the fourth. So above, below, around and everywhere, and to all as to himself, he abides pervading the all-encompassing world with a mind imbued with loving kindness, abundant, exalted, immeasurable, without hostility and without ill will. He abides pervading one quarter with a mind imbued with compassion. Similarly, abides pervading with the mind imbued with joy, with equanimity, abundant, exalted, immeasurable, without hostility and without ill will. Stop here for a moment. So, this last part, I see that when a monk purifies himself of the unwholesome states, then gladness is born in him. When we progress in the spiritual path, and we get rid of our unwholesome states, and we cultivate wholesome states, then as we progress, we are glad, and from gladness, delight is born. From delight, the body becomes tranquil, and then he feels pleasure or happy, and from there the mind becomes concentrated. Unhappy mind can never become concentrated. So when we practice the holy path, we have to become happy. You see some people, they meditate, they're supposed to see suffering, and they become, they themselves have a lot of suffering. So they have a lot of suffering, and the mind cannot become concentrated. Whereas in some other sutta, it is mentioned that somebody praised the Buddha and the Buddha's disciples. He said, compared to the external ascetics, the Buddha's disciples always look very happy, very delighted. So that is the condition to attain concentration. We must be happy. Then after the mind becomes concentrated, here the monk practices the Brahma Viharas, loving kindness, metta, And then karuna is compassion, and then mudita is joy, and upekkha is equanimity. So after he has attained a strong mind, then only he can radiate these Brahma Viharas, these divine abidings.